Let's come into child's pose. Your choice, thighs together or maybe knees open wide, depending how our lower back feels. Sink our hips back to our heels and then either walk the hands out, bring your forehead to the mat, or maybe because this is the beginning of our practice, you want to stack one fist on the other and let your forehead rest on top. Or another good variation would be to just place your elbows on the mat and rest your head in your hands. The traditional version has the hands back by the heels, and of course that's always available to you as well. Again, depending how you're feeling, it's the beginning of our class, of our practice today. So just move into whatever version of this posture feels the best for your body, the one that you feel you can relax the most deeply into. We want to continue to breathe deeply here, expanding the chest, the abdomen, and the back. Notice the way your rib cage expands out to the sides. Let the muscles along your face, jaw, scalp relax. Let go of any thoughts, plans, or ideas. If your mind begins to wander during our practice tonight, it's totally natural. When you catch it happening, just acknowledge it, and then bring your awareness back to your body and back to your breath. All right, let's lift our head, neck, and chest up slightly so we can walk our hands straight out if they're not already there, inching the fingertips a little further away from our hips, beginning to feel a stretch through the muscles of the back and shoulders. Maybe your forehead's come off of the mat a little bit so you can reach your fingertips a little bit further. That's fine. Think about pressing your heart and your chest down towards the floor. And now walk your hands towards the right corner of your room. Sit your hips back to the left, finding an opposition stretch here, feeling length increase along the left side of the torso. Let's bring our hands back through center and over towards the left corner of our room, shifting our hips back to the right. Now feeling the stretch in the right side of the torso and rib cage. And bring your hands back to the center. Let's lean forward, come onto our hands and knees. And we want to make sure the palms are centered under the shoulders, our knees are directly under our hips. We're going to move with our breath, do a couple cat-cows. So as we exhale, we're really arching the back, drawing our chin in towards the chest, looking back towards our toes. And as we inhale, we round the spine and look upwards. So move at your own pace. Exhale, arching the back. Inhale, rounding the spine. Let's do one more. And then come to neutral spine. We're going to try the same thing, but moving our spine in the opposite direction, side to side. So as you inhale, I'd like you to look over your right shoulder for your right foot. Feel your waist kind of pinching together on the right side. And then exhale through center. And inhale, looking over to the left. Look back towards your left foot. And come back through center. So again, move at your own pace. Look to the right. Think about drawing your shoulder and your hip towards one another. Exhale through center and inhale left side. And a couple more on your own. One more each side. And then come back through center, back to our neutral spine. So we're going to continue moving with the breath, building more strength now through the abdominals and the postural muscles along the spine by lifting the arm and leg. So make sure you're at the center of your mat. Again, starting with the hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Draw your abs in. So think about pulling the navel in towards the spine for most support. Right arm and left leg are going to inhale and lengthen up into shoulder and hip height. And then as we exhale, bend the knee and elbow, arch the back, draw the chin towards your chest and look back towards your feet. So inhale, lengthen, and exhale, arch. So as we lengthen, turn on all the muscles along the back side of the body. As we exhale, we're using the abs to draw the knee and elbow together. If you're a little wobbly tonight, you can always lower the hand, or you can just slide the toe along the mat rather than keeping the leg lifted. Let's do one more. And then on your next inhale, I want you to hold the arm and leg out. Keep reaching, keep lifting, maybe a little bit higher now that we have a little bit more time here. Keep the abs drawn in. Take another nice deep breath. And on your next exhale, let's lower the hand and knee with control back down to the mat under the shoulder and the hip. Switching sides, left arm, right leg. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, use the abs to draw the knee and elbow together. Let your breath help you move through each direction. On your next inhale, let's hold it. Again, as long as possible, as high as we can go. Keep breathing. Keep the body steady by using the abs. And then lower the hand and knee down to the mat. Let's sit back on our heels one more time. Just take a couple nice deep breaths coming back into child's pose. Excellent. Let's lift our head up, look forward, reach our arms out, spread the fingers wide, firmly plant the hands and come into downward facing dog, curling the toes, lifting the tailbone up towards the sky. Roll your shoulders back away from your ears, rotate the elbows so the creases of the elbows are pointing forward towards your fingers, and push down through the heels. Find a little bit more length in the back of the legs. Maybe you want to pedal your heels, shifting the weight from one leg to the other. Getting a little bit of a deeper stretch in the calves, hamstrings, and the Achilles. Good. Let's walk our toes forward on the mat. Tuck the chin towards your chest. Hold it here for a moment and forward fold. Let your upper body relax. Let your head, neck, and jaw relax. And just breathe. And now let's round up, stacking the back. Rolling the shoulders back, away from the ears, lifting the chin off the chest. Taking a couple nice deep breaths as we roll our shoulders back and forward. Good. Let's interlace the fingers, lift the palms up all the way towards the sky. Find a little bit more length through the spine and breathe. Keeping your biceps back by your ears and your chest forward. Reach your hands over towards your right. Let's come back through center and then bring the hands over to the left. Excellent. Come back through center, lower the arms down to the sides, roll the shoulders back one more time. Standing at the top of our mat, we'll move into our sun salutations. Let's inhale and exhale, bring the hands to the center of our chest. Inhale, lift the arms up, gently arch back. Exhale, forward fold, fingertips all the way down to the mat. Bend your knees a little bit if you need to. Inhale, right leg back, knee down, foot flat, look upwards. Curl the right toes. Exhale, step the left leg back to plank. Draw the abs in. Inhale. Exhale, lower, knees, chest, and forehead, or chaturanga. Inhale, slide forward, press through the palms, lift the chest, look up. Exhale, curl the toes, lift the hips up and back, downward dog. Inhale, right leg forward, left knee down, foot flat. And exhale, left leg forward, feet together, look at your knees. Inhale, arms up, gently arch back. Exhale, release, arms by the sides. Inhale. Exhale, palms together. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold, fingertips to the mat. Inhale, left leg back, knee down, foot flat, look up. Curl the toes, exhaling, right leg back to plank. Inhale. Exhale, lower, knees, chest, and forehead. Inhale, slide forward, press through the palms, lift the chest, look up. Exhale, curl the toes, lift the hips up and back, downward dog. Inhale, left foot forward, right knee down, foot flat. And exhale, right leg forward, feet together, look at your knees. Inhale, arms up, gently arch back. Exhale, release, arms by the side. Inhale. Exhale, palms together. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, right leg back, knee down, foot flat, look up. Curl the toes, exhaling, left leg back to plank. Inhale. Exhale, lower, knees, chest, and forehead. Inhale, slide forward, press through the palms, lift the chest. Exhale, curl the toes, lift the hips up and back. Inhale, right leg forward, left knee down, foot flat. And exhale, left leg forward, feet together, look at your knees. Inhale, arms up, gently arch back. Exhale, release. Inhale. Exhale, palms together. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, left leg back, knee down, foot flat, look up. Curl the toes, exhaling, right leg back to plank. Inhale. Exhale, lower. Inhale, slide forward, press through the palms, lift the chest. Exhale, curl the toes, lift the hips up and back, downward dog. Inhale, left foot forward, right knee down, foot flat. And exhale, right leg forward, feet together, look at your knees. Inhale, arms up, gently arch back. Exhale, release, arms by the side, shoulders back and away from the ears. Stand nice and tall in mountain pose. Take a couple nice deep breaths. Find a point to focus on, something that's not moving. We're going to work on our balance. So you can start by bringing your hands to your hips, and we're going to root down through the left foot. So spread the left toes nice and wide. Our knee is soft, so a slight bend in the left knee. Shoulders are back, and we want to start with them stacked over the hips. Abs, again, are always helpful for our balance. So draw the navel in towards the spine. We're going to reach back with our right hand, bend the right knee, lifting up that foot, grab a hold of the foot or ankle, pull the right heel in towards your glute. So we're starting out just with a quad stretch. Press your kneecap down towards the mat. Find a little bit more length through the quad of the right leg. Roll the shoulders back and breathe. So remember, because we're standing on one leg, sometimes we have the tendency to shift the hips out to that side of the standing leg to counterbalance the lifted leg. But instead, I want you to press deeply into the foot and think about growing tall out of the left side of the body. Excellent. So once we're steady here, we're lifting our left fingertips up towards the sky. Shoulders are back. We're breathing deeply. And with our eyes focused on that point that's not moving, we're going to begin to hinge at the hips, reaching our fingertips towards that point, little by little. And as we reach the fingertips forward, we're going to draw our right toes up towards the ceiling behind us. Keep breathing deeply. Let's take one more nice deep breath. And on your exhale, begin to roll the shoulders back, bringing them over the hips, lowering the left arm, lowering the right foot, coming back to mountain pose. Find your center. Take a nice deep breath. Excellent. So let's start fresh on the opposite side. Root down through the right foot now. Spread the toes wide. Remember, we want to use all edges of the foot. Knee is soft, shoulders and back are back. Hands can start on the hips or waist. Focus the eyes, and when you're ready, lift the left foot, reaching back with the left hand. Grab a hold of the foot or ankle. Pull the heel in and press the knee down. Find that length and stretch through the quad and hip flexor. Breathe deeply. Finding a steady, tall posture here. Noticing the right hip, if it's sinking to the right, think about lifting and growing tall out of the right foot. And then reach the right hand all the way up, bicep next to the ear. Check in, make sure you're steady. And then when you are, hinge at the hips, reach the right fingertips towards that point. Lift the left toes little by little. And breathe. Excellent. Let's release. Roll the shoulders back. Lower the right arm. Lower the left foot. Excellent. So now take a couple shoulder rolls, both directions. Maybe a gentle arm swing side to side. And a couple deep breaths. Wonderful. So our feet should be under our hips now, parallel to one another. Let's inhale, both arms up, biceps next to the ears, inhaling, exhaling, hinge at the hips. So fold forward, keeping a straight line from your fingertip to your tailbone until you can't fold forward any further. Then just let your arms relax, round your chin towards your chest, and let your body hang over the thighs. We want to keep the back of the neck relaxed, so we're looking straight towards the legs. Notice if your quads or kneecaps are tight and gripping, and maybe soften the knees and let the legs relax a little bit. Notice if your upper body also relaxes and sinks down a little bit closer to your legs. And then gently rock the upper body side to side. So just sway, really letting it relax as much as possible, including your head and neck. We don't want to fight against ourselves here. So as relaxed as possible, and we'll get deeper in our stretches. So now come back to center. We're continuing to look towards our knees, and we'll bring our hands around to the back of the ankles or calves. I'd like you to pull your chest in closer to the thighs to intensify the stretch along the back of the body, but also think about reaching the crown of your head down towards your toes. So think about lengthening the spine forward and down. So this might just be a small movement today, or maybe depending on how your body's feeling, you might make
more progress than you expect. So it's always good to give it a try, challenge the body a little bit, but remember, we don't want to make it hurt. So ease into these postures and continue to breathe throughout. Excellent. Let's release the legs. Take a nice deep breath. And from our forward fold, we're going to lift into chair pose, Utkatasana. So again, the feet are remaining on the mat. Weight is evenly distributed. Let's inhale, sweep our arms forward and up to shoulder height as we bend our knees and reach back through the tailbone. So we're in a nice low squat here. We're building strength through the lower body, specifically the quads, the glutes, the hamstrings. And you should be able to glance down and still see the tops of your feet. You can wiggle your toes even. Okay, so we haven't tilted forward onto the toes. Bring our hands into prayer position. And last but not least, we're tucking the tailbone under slightly. So think about bringing your ribs towards your hips to flatten out the lower back. Lift the eyes up and focus on a point that's not moving. Continue to breathe deeply as it gets more challenging and more warmth in the lower body begins to build. One more breath. And then exhale, press through the soles of the feet. Let's lift all the way back up to mountain pose. Excellent job. Arms by the sides. Shake it out. Excellent. From here, we're going to move into pyramid pose to now get a little bit more length through the backs of the legs one more time. So let's step the right foot forward. Bring our feet parallel to one another. Hands starting on the hips. Roll the shoulders back to maintain a nice tall torso. Inhale. And exhale, hinge forward, right? So let's bring our chest down so it's parallel with the floor. So again, just as we did in our forward fold, I want you to bring your attention to your quads, your knees. Make sure they're nice and relaxed so you're not fighting against yourself here. Tuck your chin in towards your chest slightly. We want a flat neck and upper back. And on your next exhale, drop your hands down towards your right foot, round forward, bring your nose towards your knee, let your head and neck relax. Looking back now towards the left leg. All right, so you should feel some good stretching taking place in the right hamstring. We're going to move from this pyramid pose into our revolved triangle. So usually we do revolved triangle after we've done regular triangle, but we're in a good position to kind of, well, approach it differently. And sometimes that's the key to getting deeper in our stretch. So from the position we're currently in, I want you to either keep your left hand down on the mat if it's currently touching the floor, or if you have your hands on your right shin, that's fine too. Just keep your left hand planted wherever it is, okay? We're gonna reach through the left hand and bring our right hand all the way up. So we're rolling the right shoulder over the left, opening our chest to the right side of our mat, and feeling that stretch shift towards the outside of the right hip. So if you have your hand on your shin, you're going to be a little bit higher, but it's the same thing. Now this challenges our balance, so find a new point to focus on, something on the right side of your room. Let's take one more breath. Exhale, lower the right hand down, bring the chest back towards center, look towards your knee. Notice if you can get a little bit deeper in this pyramid stretch now. And now let's press into the soles of the feet and round our body back up, stacking the back until we can roll our shoulders back and lift our chin off the chest. Excellent. Let's switch sides. So left foot comes forward, right foot steps back, hands on the hips, standing nice and tall. Let's inhale. Exhale, hinge forward. So starting with a flat back, look straight down towards your toes. Relax the quads. And now release the hands down towards the mat or along the left leg, rounding forward, looking towards your left knee. Again, let the head and neck relax, maybe shaking the head left and right or up and down. And now move into our revolved triangle. So our right hand should either be under the right shoulder on the mat or along the left shin or foot. Press into the right hand so we can lift the left arm up, rolling the left shoulder blade back. So we're aiming to stack the shoulders here and lengthen through the left arm, reaching up through the fingertips. So you should feel this stretch shift from primarily the back of the left leg to now the outside of the left hip and thigh. Find a point to focus on and continue breathing. On your next exhale, gently lower the left hand back to the floor or to the left leg. Take a deep breath and then round back up. Excellent. All right, bring the feet together, shake out the legs. And we're going to make our way down to the mat. So let's take a step all the way back. We want plenty of mat space in front of us. And we're going to come balance on the balls of the feet. So you can move down through chair, lift the heels and sink all the way down. Or you can fold forward, use your hands for support, and then lower the hips to the heels, working your fingers off the mat little by little. But we ideally want to end up crouching or balancing on the balls of the feet, rolling our shoulders back, stacking them over our hips, and our hands up at prayer position or somewhere off of the mat. So that's the challenge, to build strength through the lower body, the feet and ankles. Getting those hands off the floor will challenge us just a little bit more. Don't hold your breath here. Keep breathing deeply. Good. Let's lower our hands now. Use them for support as we gently lower the knees. Keep the toes tucked. Sit back on the heels. Stretch the soles of the feet. Take a nice deep breath. Now, if this is too intense, you can always lift the hips up. But we're going to hold this for a couple more breaths, distracting ourselves from the feet by bringing our hands behind the back, interlacing the fingers, rolling the shoulders back and together, and reaching our thumbs away from our hips. Open the chest and look upwards. Again, if it's become too intense in the feet, you can lift your hips up at any time. Good. Let's release the arms, bring our hands back to the lap, lower the chin, look straight ahead. And now let's flatten the tops of the feet to the mat. Sit back on our heels, stretch out the front of the feet and ankles, bring the hands together, interlacing the fingers one more time, reach the hands away at shoulder height and round the back of the body. Drop your chin down towards your chest, look into your lap. Good, and let's release. Lift the shoulders back up. Bring the hands down, and we're gonna walk our body forward, drape it over the thighs, back to child's pose. Let's lift our head up, look forward, walk the hands forward on the mat, and come to downward facing dog. On your next inhale, take a nice big step forward with the right foot. Come into low lunge. Drop your hips down and forward. Remember, stacking the right knee over the ankle, keeping the back leg straight, pressing away through the back heel. And keep your left hand where it is. We're going to reach our right arm up towards the sky, rotating the chest towards the inner thigh, stacking the shoulders, squeezing the shoulder blades together. And you can just look towards the right side of your room. Excellent. Let's bring the right hand down to the floor, replacing where it was. And now lower the left knee and flatten the top of the foot to the mat. We're going to pick up the right hand and place it inside. So you have left hand, and then right foot. Walk the right foot a couple inches towards the right edge of your mat, and then turn your toes out about 45 degrees. All right, we're moving into lizard pose. So by moving the right leg to the right edge of the mat, we're making space for our torso. Let's see if you can see me here. So something like this, okay? Now, from here, we're going to bend the elbows and lower our chest down towards the mat, little by little. And it's up to you where you're going to stop moving. So it might be keeping the elbows bent today. Maybe you can bring one forearm, maybe both forearms down to the mat. But you're just going to hold it here, breathing deeply, seeing if you can let your hips relax and sink down a little bit further. Good, let's release. So straighten out the arms, lift the chest back up. And now before we move our right leg back to the center, we're going to get a little bit more of a stretch through the inner thigh by opening up through the hip. So I'd like you to think about bringing the outside of your right leg towards the floor. So we're rolling the foot onto the pinky side edge. So the sole of the foot comes off of the mat. Bring that outside of the leg down. It might be a subtle movement of a ½ inch, maybe just 1 inch. I mean, it's very different for all of our bodies, okay? The hips are really tight. So just a slight movement to get that leg down and open a little bit more. Bring the right hand to the mat if you've moved it. And one more time, we're bending our elbows very slowly. This is going to feel different than the previous version, so you might not be able to get quite as far down. So be gentle. If it's too intense, straighten the arms or pull the knee back up towards the sky. We don't want to feel any pressure on the knee joint. It's the hip that we're working to open. So if you're feeling too much pressure in the knee, it's because of tightness in the hip itself. So just pull the knee up towards the sky a little bit until you feel relief. All right, let's straighten out the arms, lift the chest up. Excellent, and now lower that right foot back down to the floor. Good. Walk it back in so the foot is in line with your hip, and then bring your right hand back out to the outside of the right foot. Press your hips back, straightening out the right leg, walking the hands back towards your hips, lifting the right toes up towards the sky, and fold forward over the right thigh. And breathe. Now you should feel the stretch in the hamstring, depending on how flexed the foot is. If you pull the toes up towards the shin, you're going to feel it in the calf as well. Excellent. Let's walk the hands forward, lower the right toes back to the mat, framing the right foot. Curl the left toes, lift the left knee, step the right leg back to downward dog. Excellent job. You may notice a difference between that right leg and the left now. So let's even it out. Let's take a big step forward with the left foot, coming back into our low lunge on the opposite side, checking our alignment, knee over ankle, right leg is straight, reaching back through the right heel, feeling length in the hip flexor, maybe the left inner thigh. Keep the right hand where it is, lift the left arm up, open up to chest, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Keep breathing. Excellent. Gently lower the left hand back to the floor and lower the right knee down, flattening the top of the foot. So now we pick up our left hand and we bring it between our left foot and right hand so we can walk our left foot out towards the left edge of our mat and then turn the toes out about 45 degrees. Moving into lizard pose, we're going to take a deep breath. And as we exhale, bend the elbows in towards your torso little by little. Maybe bringing one forearm or both down to the mat, letting your head relax. And let's gently lift the chest back up, straightening out the arms. Excellent. All right, again, this time we're opening up through that thigh. So we want to use the hip. So roll onto the pinky side edge of the left foot, opening up the leg, and then gently bending the elbows slowly, maybe bringing one or both forearms down to the mat. Good. Let's begin to ease out of this, straightening out the arms. Bringing the left foot down to the floor, and then walk the left foot back in. Bring the left hand out to the outside of the left foot for our hamstring stretch. From here, we're going to push back through the hips, straightening out the left leg, lifting the toes, folding forward over the thigh, and breathing deeply. Excellent. Walk the hands forward, lower the left toes, and step back to downward dog. Now we'll move into pigeon. So stretch the outside of the hip. So let's lift the right heel off the mat, bend the knee, pull the bent knee in towards the chest. Let's lower it between our hands. Relax the left leg back. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, fold forward, lower your chest down towards your right leg. Bring your hands down towards the mat in front of you, either resting your forehead on top, becoming as comfortable as possible. Now, similar to the posture we were just working on, where we were opening our knee and the outside of our leg down towards the mat, this is very similar, meaning that if you're feeling any pain in the right knee, the bent knee right now, it's because
we're trying to get too deep into this posture and our hips are too tight. So if you're feeling pressure on the knee, it's because we're putting stress or pressure on it sideways, and that's not the way the knee joint works. So if that's the case, I want you to lift your head, neck, and chest up and lift your hips up slightly. Pull the thigh back in towards the torso. It's okay if your hips come up a little bit and then come back down into pigeon, because you'll be taking the pressure off the knee, but you'll still be getting a stretch in the hip. If that doesn't feel better, you can always change the angle of the knee. You don't have to have it straight forward. It can be towards the right corner or even the right edge of the mat. But by adjusting that right leg, your hips are naturally going to come up off of the floor a little bit. And that's totally fine. Remember, this is all about what works best for your body. Take one more full breath here. And then walk the hands in towards your torso so you can lift your chest. Try and stack your shoulders back and over the hips. And then we're going to use the right hand as an anchor. We're going to turn on left glute and hamstring and lift the left heel up towards the sky, grabbing a hold of the foot or ankle or pant leg and drawing the foot in towards the shoulders, feeling the stretch in the quad and hip flexor. Your chest is open and we're breathing deeply. So we've got a lot of good stuff going on. We're stretching the quad and hip flexor, the right inner thigh, the right outer hip. We've got a gentle arching back bend here. The chest is open, stretching the pecs and shoulder. So take one more breath and then gently lower the foot down, bring the left hand forward, framing the right knee, and let's come back to downward facing dog. So curl the left toes, lift the hips, and step the right leg back, looking back towards your feet. And now we'll switch sides. Lift the left heel up, bend the knee, pull the knee in towards your chest, and lower it down between your hands. So again, you feel free to adjust the placement of that left leg to suit your body. Inhale, lift, look upwards. Exhale, fold forward. And you still want to move gradually into this fold over the left leg. One side may feel different than the other. Of course, if it's too intense, you can always lift your chest up slightly, come to your forearms, or rest your head in your hands with your elbows bent. Whatever variation allows you to relax as much as possible. Let's inhale, head, neck, and chest up, walking our hands back, bring them to either side of the bent left leg. Roll the shoulders back so we're sitting up nice and tall. And now turn on the right glute and hamstring in order to lift the right heel up. Reach back with the right hand, grab a hold of the foot, draw it in towards the shoulders. Relax and breathe. Excellent. Let's release that foot gently down to the mat and then sit down into the left leg, left hip, and we're going to swing the right leg around, straightening out the right leg and bringing the sole of the left foot along the right thigh or calf. So sit up nice and tall, pull the flesh away from your sits bones so we're really grounded into the mat. Inhale, arms up, biceps next to our ears, and as we exhale, reach forward as we fold, dropping the hands down towards the foot, ankle, calf, and gently lowering our face down towards the leg as we reach the crown of the head towards the toes. So think about flattening out the torso along the right thigh. Let's inhale, both arms all the way up. Keep the right arm lifted up towards the sky. Bring the left hand back. Place the heel of the hand just behind the left hip. We're going to press into the left hand and into the left shin to lift our hips up, opening up through the chest and torso, reaching back through the right fingertips. Take a nice deep breath. Our chest is open wide. And exhale, gently lower our hips down to the mat. Lower the right hand down as well. Sit up tall and we'll switch sides. So left leg forward, right leg bent, sole of the right foot along the left thigh or calf. Inhale, both arms up. And again, reach forward as you fold. Find that length along the left leg. Breathe deeply. Good, let's inhale, both arms all the way back up. Keeping the left arm lifted now, we'll bring the right hand just behind the right hip. Press firmly into the right palm so we can lift our hips up, opening up the chest, reaching the left arm back. Breathe. Excellent, lower the hips back down. Wonderful. Let's straighten out the right leg now. So both legs are in front of us, toes up towards the ceiling. Inhale, both arms up. Reach forward as you fold, hinging at the hips. Exhaling, dropping the hands down, drawing the chin towards the chest. Don't fight against it. Let the quads and kneecaps, the muscles along the back, all relax, letting you sink down a little bit deeper. Maybe walking your hands a little further along the length of your legs. All right, and let's just release the legs and just round up, stacking the back, rolling the shoulders back, lifting the chin off the chest. All right, so we're going to do one more counter pose to that seated forward fold, and we're going to do an upward facing plank. If, like me, your feet have come off the top of your mat, it's going to be a little bit easier if they have some grip. So walk your body back just a couple inches until they are on the mat as well. So from our staff pose or a seated pose here, we're going to walk the hands back just behind the hips, about your own hand length, fingertips pointing down towards your feet. Now, as we exhale, we're going to press through the palms. We're going to engage the muscles along the back side of the body so we can lift our hips up and create a nice diagonal line running down our chest, down our legs, all the way into our feet. Your feet can either go straight down onto the mat or, again, depending on our ankle flexibility, you can rotate the toes towards the outside edges of the mat. All right, so let's give it a try. Plant the hands. Let's take a deep breath in and exhale. Press into the palms, lift the hips up, drop the toes forward or out towards the sides. Keep the hips lifted, and you can keep the chin on the chest, or you can tilt the chin upwards, finding more length through the muscles of the face, jaw, and throat. But keep pressing into the feet, keep squeezing the glutes, keep the hips lifted. Take one more breath. And then exhale, chin to the chest, hips back down to the mat. Excellent job. Bend the knees, soles of the feet on the mat, draw the thighs together, pull your abs in. They've already gotten a warm up. We're going to lean back on the tailbone, hands facing the legs, and then lift our toes or our feet off of the mat. So we can balance here in boat pose, continuing to build strength through not only the abs, but the lower back as well. If you're up for a challenge, you can work on straightening out the legs. Don't forget to breathe.
Excellent job. Feet down. Keep the abs engaged. Maybe slide the hips to the center of the mat. Now, if you're too far towards the back, and we're going to roll down. Bring our shoulder blades to the mat and the back of the head to the floor. Let your body relax. Take a nice deep breath. And from here, we're going to lift into shoulder stand. Of course, you're always welcome to take the variation of legs up the wall. And also, of course, at any time, if you'd like to roll down, go right ahead. Using the abs, pull the knees in towards your chest, press through the palms to lift the tailbone, and then bend the elbows, bringing the hands to the lower back, stacking the hips over the shoulders, and lifting the feet up. Point and flex the feet a couple times. And then bring one leg in towards your face, reaching away through the opposite leg. And gradually switch directions. And bring your toes down to the mat. Come into plow pose. Continue breathing deeply. And then bend the knees in towards your face. Bring your hands down to the mat. Use them as brakes as you slide the knees down the front of the torso, gradually lowering the hips and then the soles of the feet to the mat. Tuck your shoulder blades under. Take a nice deep breath. And then walk your feet about mat width apart. And I'd like you to lower both knees down to one side, keeping your shoulders planted. And then lift the knees back up and gradually lower them to the opposite side. And just a couple more times each direction, moving at a pace that's comfortable for your body. Then bring your knees back to center. Walk them in a little bit so they're in line with your hips. And then pick up the right leg, place the right ankle on top of the left knee or thigh. Reach the right hand through the legs, left hand on the outside. Draw the legs towards your chest. Let your lower back relax down towards the mat while still keeping the legs drawn in towards the chest. And let's release and switch sides. So right foot comes down to the mat, pick up the left leg, place the left ankle on top of the right knee, left hand through the legs, right hand on the outside as we draw the legs in. Excellent. Let's release and lower our legs all the way down to the mat for Savasana, our final relaxation. Heels about mat width apart, arms halfway between our hips and shoulders, tucking the shoulder blades under, closing your eyes, taking a deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, letting your whole body relax, including your mind, letting go of any thoughts, plans, or ideas. And bring your awareness all the way down your body to your feet. My toes, feet, and heels are releasing and relaxing. My toes, feet, and heels are released and relaxed. My ankles, calves, and knees are releasing and relaxing. My ankles, calves, and knees are released and relaxed. My thighs, hips, and buttocks are releasing and relaxing. My thighs, hips, and buttocks are released and relaxed. My abdomen and lower back are releasing and relaxing. My abdomen and lower back are released and relaxed. My fingers, hands, and wrists are releasing and relaxing. My fingers, hands, and wrists are released and relaxed. My forearms, elbows, and upper arms are releasing and relaxing. My forearms, elbows, and upper arms are released and relaxed. My chest, back, and shoulders are releasing and relaxing. My chest, back, and shoulders are released and relaxed. My neck, head, and face are releasing and relaxing. My neck, head, and face are released and relaxed. My mind is calm, my breathing is even, and I am completely relaxed. Om. Bring awareness back to your body and begin to move your fingers and toes. Gently stretch your arms overhead, lengthening the body as you breathe deeply. Reach the arms over towards the right and then towards the left. Gently roll to your side, taking a nice deep breath, and press up to a seated position. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om peace, peace, peace. Namaste. Great job tonight, everyone. Thank you for working hard. I hope you have a wonderful evening and a very happy, healthy, wonderful Thanksgiving. I will see you next week. Have a good one.